Everybody, welcome back to Gideon Stuff. Today I've got a really cool knife review for you guys. We're taking a look at the Bark River Gunny Sidekick. This is an absolutely beautiful knife and I can't wait to tell you guys all about it. First of all, big shout out to Zach. Zach is a wonderful viewer who sent this knife to me for review. Without him, I would not have had the opportunity to take a look at this knife. So thank you, Zach. That is really, really awesome. All right, let's go ahead and get started with our blade length measurements. This is not a huge knife. You can see here that sharpened edge is coming in at, I'll call that, let's see, what is that? 3.8 inches. Overall blade length is just a smidge over 4. We'll call it, 4.1 inches. Not a huge fixed blade knife by any means. Let's go ahead and bring out our size comparisons. There's the Rat 1. And there's the 2. Yeah, not a huge knife. Definitely a outdoorsy styled knife, but it's almost in that size range of being an EDC fixed blade. Let's go ahead and compare it against some other fixed blade. Actually, you know what? We will do it against the Benchmade Bug Out and the Spyderco PM2. We'll do the PM2 Tonto right now. There we go. Cool, cool, cool. And now let's go ahead and compare against some fixed blades. You guys know this is Gideon stuff, so we're going to have to compare against the Cold Steel SRK. In this case, we'll use the SRK-C, the smaller version, which is still a little bit bigger than this knife. Let's also bring out the half-face blades Extremis, which was also sent to the channel by Zach. We have a full review of this out if you want to check out that video. Out. How many times can I say out before the end of the video? Turn into a drinking game, guys. Let's do a couple more size comparisons with some other knives from Zach. Here is the Civivi Storm Ridge. I've been carrying this a lot recently, getting ready for its review. Pretty similar in overall size, or length at least. And then let's compare against another USA-made knife, also sent in by Zach. This is the TKL Knives Accomplice, another knife that I have been using pretty heavily, as you can see from all of the yuck. What is on? Yikes. Anyways, it's not about the it's not about the Accomplice. But there we go. Awesome. Okay, what are we looking at for our materials on this knife? Well, we have a beautiful clip point convex ground blade of 154 cm. We have beautiful, beautiful dark red micarta scales with some, I think it's black micarta pins with red G10 liners, and the sheath is treated leather. Okay, let's go cut some stuff. Alrighty guys, so unfortunately, I seem to have lost the footage I took with the Gunny Sidekick. Where was that sentence going? I don't know. Gosh, I'm an idiot. Why do you guys watch this channel? Oh, what I was trying to say is I took some footage of me using the Gunny Sidekick to do some feather sticking and stuff on a camping trip I went on a couple months ago. I can't find that footage. I'm not sure what happened to it. It has vanished. Maybe I never even recorded it in the first place. I don't know. I'm a big dum-dum. Things like that could happen. Thankfully, I keep some extra wood here in my garage, so we're going to real quickly just get some stuff split up and do a little bit of feather sticking. S-Wing machete still has a sticker on it. Have not gotten around to using this knife that much. All right, let's go ahead and just take a little bit off of this. Actually, this one's not great. You know what? It's about as good as I've... No. There we go. This one's much better. There we go. Oh, guys. Why do you watch this channel, huh? Oh, wow, look what I had sitting right here. Oh, well, whatever. Okay. Now we've got a little bit of wood here. Let's see, what is this? Do a little sniff test. I think this is some cedar. All right. Ugh. Kind of an ugly looking piece of wood, but that's okay. That'll give us a good idea for what this knife is capable of. No gloves, but that's okay. That's how we rock. Oh yeah, this is a real ugly piece of wood. Whew. So we're making some really good shavings here. This is a really, really gross piece of wood. Very, very splintery, dry, knotty wood. Whew. This convex grind is just eating that wood up, though. As is to be expected, convex grinds are pretty good at stuff like this. Yeah, bites in really, really nicely. That handle is super, super comfortable. Not having any problems whatsoever. Holding on to this knife, no hot spots. I could do this all day. Yeah, this is not the kind of wood I would typically choose to do a feather stick on. But there we go. Made quite a bit of made a lot of shavings down here, which can be useful for getting a fire going, but there we go. Let's see, I've also got some mesquite and some willow sitting over here, but we're not gonna bother with any of that. There we go. Just real quick, wanted to throw some footage of some woodworking in here because I think that's kind of what this knife is aimed at, and I am kicking myself that I lost the footage that I took out in the woods. I'm hoping I just overlooked it. I'm going to check again. Hopefully I find it, and you guys are watching that instead of this. Yeah, there we go. Man, that's just a gorgeous looking knife. Holy crap. That's a good looking knife. Damn. Okay, we're going to go ahead and go. We are back to do some review cutting before the sun sets. And today we've got the Bark River Gunny Sidekick, as you can probably tell because you've been watching the video for a while. All right, let's go ahead and get right into this. Ergonomics. Excellent. This knife is swelled and chamfered in all the right places. So smooth. Fits my hand like a damn glove. This is an incredibly comfortable knife. I can sit and just carve wood with this all day long and never ever worry about raising a hot spot. Right now I've even got a little bit of a sore spot in my hand. Couldn't even tell you. Masterful ergonomics. Absolutely masterful. What else can I say? They're just good. Carry. You've got a leather sheath. Vertical only. And it works, right? This is a pretty classic way to carry a knife. The knife is small enough that, it's pretty unobtrusive, I guess. I think the sheath is a little bit plain, but honestly, it's well made. We'll talk more about the sheath at the table. As far as the carry goes, just with this, it works, right? I don't really have a whole lot to complain about. Okay, let's go ahead and do some cutting. CPM 154 on this beautiful clip point blade. Convex edge. Convex edges are really, really interesting, especially going through cardboard. They feel different, to say the least. Geometry on this is done beautifully, as you might expect, from a high-end USA-made fixed blade. Yeah, that convex grind cuts through that cardboard like nothing. Let's go ahead and grab a rope here. Convex grinds are known for being pretty durable. Went through that rope, no problema. Let's do some crunches. 1, oh my goodness. 2, 3, and we'll just keep going. 4, 5. Yeah. Whenever I do the rope test, I push down with enough effort to try and get through the rope, but I don't try and rock back and forth and saw through the rope. I see if the geometry of the knife itself can just, crunch through it. And yeah, in this case, it absolutely can. That just ate that rope for dinner. No problem at all. Love to see that. Absolutely love to see that. Convex edges are great for things like that. Pool noodle time. Gotta be honest, I'm not exactly sure what's going to happen here. This could be pretty interesting. 1. That actually felt really good. 2. Okay. Holy smokes. Holy smokes. Yeah, we were able to go almost see-through thin on that. And look how straight across that is. No binding whatsoever. No sticking, no mushing, no tearing. This one I went thick on. Yeah, that, holy smokes. That is one hell of a cutter right there, guys. I'll tell you what. Man, that might be the best performing fixed blade that we've ever done on the channel as far as sliciness goes, not talking about woodworking or anything, but just as far as these demonstrations go, this might have taken the cake. I don't know, hard to say. Dang, it's really good. And look at how sexy that knife is. I love it. All right, let's get back to the table. All righty, and we are back. Let's go ahead and talk about what I'm liking and not liking about this knife. Number 1, it's made in the USA. Gotta love, supporting the home team. Number 2, it's gorgeous. This is probably the most beautiful fixed blade in my collection right now. I absolutely love this knife. Got all kinds of marks on the blade right now. Let me give it a little wipe down so you guys can kind of see it a little bit better. Yeah, just a gorgeous, gorgeous knife. I really do love these scales. The whole thing feels so premium. It feels like you can feel that this is a high quality tool, and I absolutely love that. Next up, the ergonomics. Just hand melting. This knife swells in all the right places. It's rounded over so perfectly. I mean, the seams and transitions here are flawless. In fact, I'd say they're seamless. Just beautiful, beautiful feel in the hand. Very smooth but secure at the same time. Again, it is not grippy, but the knife does lock you in decently, and it is so comfortable, and it's got a nice girth to it that it feels secure in your hand, right? I don't think you're going to have a problem dropping this knife. Obviously, if your hands are all wet and stuff, it might be a little bit slippery, but the ergonomics on this knife are so comfortable. This feels absolutely amazing in hand. Love, love, love the ergonomics. Let's go ahead and talk about this blade. Very, very cool looking blade. I love me a dramatic clip point like this. So that's right up my alley aesthetically. CPM 154. Good steel, right? Pretty solid all around. Good stainlessness, easy to sharpen. Holds a decent edge, decently tough. It's a fairly well-rounded stainless steel. I'm not going to say it's my favorite steel ever, but it seems to perform pretty well on this knife here. This convex grind is very interesting. I enjoy convex grinds. They give you some unique advantages and definitely a unique feeling during cutting. I always enjoy cutting with a convex grind because it feels different. I use this knife for a lot of things. Did a little bit of wood processing, did some food prep. I dressed out a fish, filleted a couple fish with this, or gutted some fish and, yeah, I guess filleted them. I don't think I got footage of everything I did. I'll try and throw in some footage, probably before you guys are seeing this, of some of the stuff that I put this knife up to. But yeah, cut really, really well. Convex grinds are very easy to strop and maintain in the field, which is awesome. I would say that this knife really excels as a around the camp type of knife. I think it's probably going to be pretty good for dressing out game. I didn't do any of that with this knife, but in my experience, this is the right size and blade shape for a hunting knife. So if you're a hunter, I think this would be pretty useful. Convex grinds are fine for skinning and stuff. They do resist damage a little bit better than some things. So if you do accidentally hit bone or something that you didn't want to hit, a rock or something, it could be a little more resistant to that. But yeah, great blade on here. Absolutely fantastic blade. Not a whole lot to complain about. The sheath, I really like that the knife has really been breaking in as I've carried it. It's kind of a pouch style sheath. Pretty compact, very high quality, good stitching on here. And yeah, the knife has, broken in very, very well to this sheath. When you first get it, right, when I first had this knife, it's a little bit of a, I had to kind of press it in there and make sure it really sat. But now it has, worn its shape in, which is very, very nice. I just love the vibe of this knife. Man, this takes me back to the frontier. This is so classy. And so classy but rugged, right? It just, reminds me of my ancestors and, pioneers coming west. It's a good vibe. It's a good vibe, for sure. All right, let's go ahead and talk about some of the negatives. And actually, my biggest negative with this knife is probably the sheath. I I don't even know if it's necessarily a negative. The sheath is a little bit plain, I guess is what I would say. I'm not even sure if this is a complaint. It's just, for me, the sheath, even though it is a high quality sheath, just, I don't know. I feel like this kind of knife, I would expect a little bit more from the sheath. As far as carry goes, it's fine. You know, this is a vertical carry only. If it's a little bit too high for you, you can rig up a dangler through here. I didn't really think I needed to do that. It works well enough, you know, going out and around the woods and things. You know, the knife does hold in there fairly well. It's not like I would trust this with the best retention, but it does work. Yeah, I guess that's about it. Jeez, it's really hard thinking of nitpicks for this knife because it's just so freaking cool. But, you know, I guess I gave it my best shot. Okay, let's go ahead and move on to the final conclusions. Price on this guy, between about $250 and $300 for one of these. Is it worth it? Yes. This knife is built incredibly well. You can tell that this was designed and executed flawlessly by people who knew what they were doing. Oh, something I forgot to mention about the blade is look at this plunge grind. Perfection. I love that. Isn't that gorgeous? The knife itself is a worker. This is definitely a knife that's not afraid to be used. You can take this on your next camping trip. I was going to say camping and hunting. You can take this on your next hunting trip, and it's going to work for you, whether you're dressing out game or just, you know, making a meal around the campfire. You can take this with you hiking, camping, whatever you're into. This is going to be a knife that's not afraid to get its hands dirty or its blade dirty while you're getting your hands dirty. You know what I mean. It's a cool knife, but despite that hard-working attitude and construction, it's also just a gorgeous piece. This is definitely an heirloom quality knife. This is something that you can pass down from father to son and really, really put some stories on this blade. So I'm a huge fan of it. Can I recommend it? Yes, absolutely. It's a good one. All right, that's going to be it from me today, guys. Big shout out to my channel members at the Cowboy level. I appreciate everything they do for the channel. If you would like to become a member and support me, there are links down below. As for the rest of you guys, thank you for watching. If you enjoyed the video, leave a like, comment below, and subscribe. I've been Gideon, and I'll see you in the next one. Adios.